Wagwan. Welcome to another episode of Backtest Fridays. I'm going to try to do this one very quick as I have a flight in like 2 hours and I'd even start packet or not like that. But we're just going to jump right in it. We're going to start with Euro US dollar. So for most of the week, the market has literally been moving sideways, which is absolutely boring. But throughout the week, like the main thing you could have got from Euro USD, even though it was moving sideways, is that it started to make lower highs. Pushing price in a downward motion. So you should be preparing yourself for some form of sells if that's the case, right? So within all of this sideways movement, go back to the H4 and see what exactly was happening. We could have tightened up this sideways movement a bit to get it for the most accurate information. And the best trade did end up coming as a break and a retest of where the market was consolidating. To be honest, you had a break of this box, retest right here, and push to the south side. But on the H4, that's the perspective. We could have gotten better entries on the H1 if you took advantage of the break and retest of this area, and also even better entries as this was a trendline situation. We could have been looking to capitalize on shorts from this area, this double top, the break and retest. We could have gotten 3 entries in euro while it was pushing to the downside. And if euro is moving sideways, you don't know, the DXY will also be moving sideways. Market literally has just been moving sideways. The same trade that produced the sell on euro was basically buying of dollars. You had the market breakout of a box where it was consolidating, a nice break and retest. And also, if you are able to use the correlations, you could capitalize on probably another entry for a euro sell along this line right here. Let's draw this line, go across, boom. Would have capitalized on another euro sell by this little hint right there. So probably next week we'll see euro continue pushing to the downside as dollar continue pushing to the upside. Alright, so that's it for euro US dollar. Yeah, we're definitely going to see a little bit more downside to this, probably a touch, a retest of the 1.12 area, and then don't know if the sellers them strong enough, it may break. If not, then we can look to take euro to the upside, because I think this is daily demand all along this region. Definitely, investors may definitely take advantage of this opportunity to set the market long. Alright, so UCAD was fun this week. So let's break it down from the H4 standpoint. Most of the market movement that happened this week actually happened on the H4 time frame, as this market literally was only moving sideways. So there's a few things we have to take into consideration as it relates to UCAD, and the first one is this big run up right here. So started right here, so ended right there. Let me make sure you guys can see this line, this big run up. I'm gonna get it bold, tick. Yeah, this big run up that happened right here. So this is an impulse move. We always have to take into consideration impulse moves, because impulse shows demand, and wherever demand is, investors will buy. So the impulse originated right here and created demand all along this region. Let's put this as buy. And another thing we have to take into consideration is that where the impulse stopped is a level of resistance. Yeah, simple support and resistance. So personally, this trade right here would have been a bit hard to get into unless like you really just trading supply and demand. Like there was no real entry confirmations until we had like some rejections off this level right here. Yeah, probably the double bottom right here would have been a nice entry opportunity to carry the market long. Entry along right there, we can leave out with 30 pips stop loss, and we'll look to take the market to the next level of resistance. Right, so this trade was basically as a result of this impulse move right here. That's the only reason to take CAD along, right? And in fine style, you don't know, anywhere you have support, you look for buyers. Anywhere you have resistance, you look for sellers. And sellers then choose to capitalize on this opportunity to take the market back short. This is actually a very good trade right here, as that's a simple rejection of resistance, like a clean, simple rejection of resistance. You throw out your 30 pips, you could probably look to take the market back down to support. Let's see where the entry actually came in on the low time frame. This is M5. You have like 3 sells right here, 3 reasons to sell. We have 1, 2, 3. We could have used some past supports acting as future resistance. Well, all these little resistance levels along this area were being rejected. Oopsie, drew it at the wrong one. Let's go on the M15, see if we can find a very solid reason to sell. Okay, here it is. Have a nice solid reason to sell right here. Break off that level of support acting as resistance. You had a nice engulfing coming off of that region. Let me highlight that so you can see it. Boom, nice sales off of that. You'd currently be in those same cells looking to hit this level of support. You'd be somewhere along how much pips would you be up on that cell? Yeah, so you'd be up about 59 pips. Woohoo. Zimmy Ozzy. Get rid of this. Get rid of all of them. We'll continue up on my chart. Ozzy was kind of the same situation as UCAD, right? So you have to always take note of your impulses within the market. Impulses show demand, right? So we had an impulse along that level right here. I hope you guys can hear the tired in my voice. I'm really tired. Yeah, so we had an impulse along this area right here, which led to price rocketing up to this region. Wherever our impulse stop is a level of resistance. Simple, right? So that level of whoopsie. Yeah, that level of resistance that was right here was just sitting on our charts waiting to be interacted with. But the market opened somewhere right here, right along the 11th. Price came into the impulse zone, the region that created this big push up. On the lower time frame, we see price started to reject that zone, right? So this was pretty much the case. We had a certain level that was maintaining the resistance, the support all along that area. That area was tested and rejected. That area ended up being broke when the market came above here, came back and pushed up, right? So seeing that level was broke, market came back all the way to support and started to turn around. Literally just started to turn around. Like, I could break this down in a much other way, but that's like for my students, because this is a fire trade right here. So like crazy impulses. But like, to get into this trade, really and truly, if you're not trading supply and demand purely, the only real reason you'd have to get into this trade is like the break and retest of all of this area. Let's put this as price action. Yeah, the break and retest. Break, retest, push up, came back to it and pushed up. And you see this long wick right here. This long wick in an impulse zone that we've already established shows demand. Like price action, candles are talking to you. Every candle in this market is telling you a story. It's just for you to be able to interpret what it's telling you. Right? So remember the level of resistance that we got from our first impulse move to the upside. Impulse right here. Remember, I put this level of resistance right there. That's where the impulse stopped. That's where people are looking. That's basically excess supply. Resistance, excess supply. Opportunity to take the market short. So when you go to the 5-minute chart, when we did our buy along this region and price came to our resistance, the same reason that we took our buy is basically the same reason that we'd have taken our sell. We use 20 pips right here. Now I use more than 20 at these times for Aussie. Right? So a nice 59 pips run up. Let me put it exactly at the resistance. That'll be like a 58 pip run up. And then upon the flip side, we don't know this is resistance. Like, there's a super cool way to get into this trade right here. But as I say, knowledge is like straight and only for NOBSFX trading. But like, another simpler way to get into a sell along right here, we see like a momentum trend line building up right here. We had a break and retest of this region right here. We could have taken shorts from this area. Nice and natural, a little simple entry. This. Let me see if I can line up this trend line. Yeah, something along this sort. You see me? Break up the trend line, retest, get some nice engulfings. Ooh, get some nice engulfings off that region. Get short positions. Say about right there. We can run up 30 pips stop loss, 20 pips stop loss. Where is it? boom, and we'll just take price right back down to support. Price actually broke the level of support and continued pushing down further. Well, if you put it at the exact base of the box, you get 43 pips. So some nice consolidation trading this week, basically, as if the DXY is moving sideways, a majority of the pairs that it affects is essentially going to move sideways also. So these are two nice liquid trades you could get. CAD JPY. Now trading CAD JPY from my perspective, we're going to talk about another impulse again. There's those impulses everywhere. This impulse down, right? Knowing, let's go to the daily for a second. I need to put this into. Need to make sure you guys see this. All of this area right here is daily support. All of this right here is daily support, right? Aim of trading: buying low, selling high, right? So with that being said, jump to the 4-hour. We see all of this, as I said, daily support. We can alter it to the 4-hour. We see that there's some 4-hour demand along this region, right? So impulse down, this is where it corrected itself, right? Now I'm not gonna behave like I'm Superman and say, hey, you could have catch this trade, because breaking down this trade, I saw no way possible how I would catch this trade. Like, there's no reason for me to buy here. It's a nice 181 pips. I caught a EJ buy this week that gave me an entry, but CAD JPY just did not give me an entry. Looking through it, like the only major entry I would see is a break and retest with the, I don't know if you guys can see this, but oh, let me fix CAD JPY and find this back. Alright, so the break and retest of this level right here, this could have given me a sell. Let me highlight this area so you guys can see properly. This is price action. This is the only reason I'd have to, the only reason I'd have to take this buy. But the thing is, this is CAD JPY, so I would have a 30 pip stop loss. Right, run out my 30 pip stop losses, I would have gotten knocked out of this trade. Right, price came back to that level, literally tapped it and exploded. But yeah, I literally don't see any way to catch this buy. But on the flip side, as it relates to the impulse that I spoke about earlier, this is an area that I'd be looking to capitalize on sales from. So taking sales from this region to right here, like in essence, like even though I trade supply and demand, at the starting of the week, my more favorable trade would have been to take the sell from this region, as the market is in a downtrend, and what them say, the trend is your friend until it bend. You see me? So I prefer to trade with the direction of the momentum within the market. So this is the sell I would be preying. We had our level right there. Let's go down to the low time frame and see how we could have capitalized on this sell. You had this big rocket from this same demand region up to here. Let's see where we could have capitalized on this sell. This is 3 minutes, go to the 5 minutes. Ooh, that happened. Point A, point B, break, retest point C, retest point D. So one way we could have capitalized on it, and then just a simple break of support acting as future resistance. We don't know how that go. You jump in your sells from right there, so you roll out your 30 pip stop loss, sell, 30 pip stop loss. Take profit is the impulse zone that made that support level. Let's go to the half of 4 hour time frame. Yeah, your take profit wouldn't even be hit on this trade. You'd have to come out of this manually. Where would I come out? Like when I start seeing this, I'd be about out of this trade when this happened, right before that explosion up. So would only be able to capitalize on about 94 pips or 96. Yeah, 96 pips. When the direction of the market changed, I would have been out of that. So yo, hats off to anybody that caught this buy. Yo, this is a nice buy, 152 pips in like what that 4 hour. See me? So GBP CAD was just a simple break and retest of past support acting as future resistance. We had daily level of support right here. It broke that level of support, came back to it as resistance. Don't know if we go to the low time frame, we're going to see some form of entry opportunities. As I say, a little break and retest, jump in a trade, you that. No rocket science right here. This was a very simple trade. I don't even need to spend any more time on this pair. Zimiani kind of made a head and shoulder. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, push to the downside. And see another sell right here, so you can sell it off at that same level. All of this right here is excess supply. The market just came, tap the excess supply and pushing back to the downside. Right? Have a little trend line situation around along right here, so to probably say a break retest back to the top side and push to the down. But like looking at the correlation between the GBP pairs, most of them looking like them saying to the downside. Even with GBP JPY, I capitalized on one. I capitalized on, what did I take this week? I took a sell. Yeah, I took this sell on GJ, right? But I got out about at like 90 something pips as direction of the market changed. You see, this past level of support this past level of resistance started acting as support. But like straight up, I'm telling you this, like for the last 2 episodes I think I've mentioned this, I don't see buys on GBP pairs, I only see sells. The main thing I'm interested in is sells on GBP pairs. So like I took, where was it? Oh, the trade that I said I took this week, it wasn't this one. It wasn't this one. It was this one. I got like about 30 something pips. Yeah, that's right. This one I took. Right, but still looking to take GBP short from this region, pushing to the downside. I actually entered some trades right before market close, break and retest of this region, and I'm definitely looking for the GBP to make another leg to the lower side. Let's see if we can swing this. But yeah, don't know, again have little resistance around this region for selling pressure. So I probably just observe the order along. What the hell is going on right here? There we go. Probably just observe the order along this region. We'll have to break out of this region first. But yeah, it's a nice 168 pip trade if I do go up. Zimi Euro GBP. Now, as I say, I'm gonna have a flight for jump on soon. I'm gonna have little things to do before I do that. Can't go up on the people and plane with hungry belly. So again, run through this quick. This was the last level of resistance within the market. Zimi, easy. Boom, hit a level of resistance, got to the low time frame. So simple, we have a break and retest. Hold on, where's this tool? Oh, there we go. I don't see no break and retest right here. So one thing I do see right now is you have a head and shoulders right here. So let's go to the M30, see any form of break and retest. Right, this right here is kind of a break and retest in essence. If you never get them one day, you could have definitely get this break and retest along right there. Also, enter your trade. You have a little trend line pushing to the upside right here. That show that momentum has slowed down. If you entered along right there, it'd be somewhere along 115 pips up right now. And now to gold. Now this is a very messy chart because I'm still in gold, but like straight up gold long. That's all I'm saying. It's the same way how I'm not interested in taking any buys in GBP. I'm not interested in taking any forms of sells that it relates to gold. And this was the trade of the week right here. So I see a lot of these famous traders on Instagram posting about, hold on, this one not supposed to be here. Like posting shorts from right here to right here. You dumb. You just provided more gold buys to the big institutions that are taking it long. Like you notice this H4 level of support just could not break. All of this indicates demand. Also on the H1, we'll have more demand being prominent in this area. Look at all the rejections of this area. Price action is speaking to you. I can definitely see the market really pushing all the way up into my second take profit level where the Sigola push way come up here. So see that number TP2 still holding them gold longs. But big up on yourself, and I don't know, I have another episode next week for drop. As like you help me, I help you. The more you share my posts and about these videos on Instagram, the more videos I'll end up doing. So everybody, big up on yourself, stay safe.